name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So welcome back to one of my Sunday sewing catch-ups. I'm back with another episode and we're on episode 65. I've got lots of things I want to share with you today. A few things that I've been busy sewing. There's a pattern that I'm tempted to buy and I wanted to share it with you. I have got some fabric to share with you, and then I've also got some sewing plans as well as lots of other bits and bobs that I want to talk about. So before I dive into all of that, I'll let you know what I'm wearing. And I'm wearing a Tilly in the Buttons Lyra shirt dress, and I made this last year, I think. A couple of reasons why I've got it on. I've been going through my wardrobe this weekend. I was going to say this week. I've been going through my wardrobe this weekend to pull out what I want to wear for the week. And at school next week and the following week, we're going to be looking at space, learning about the solar system and the planets. And we're using a book where there's a teddy bear that goes into space. I've got the book here actually. It's one of my favourites by Jill Murphy. It's called Whatever Next, and the little bear goes into space and meets an owl and has a picnic. It's a really cute story, and using this story we're going to be learning about space. So I've been digging out all of my space themed outfits. I've only got a few things that fit the space sort of themed space themed theme. I've only got a few outfits that fit the space theme, and this is one of them because it's got this sort of like I guess galaxy effect print all over it. I added waist ties just to cinch it in a little bit, and I really love the Lyra. It's got the collar. I always undo the first button because I find that quite choking, and then it's got buttons down and stops at the waist. And then there are pockets, optional pockets, and then it's a gathered skirt, and then you can put a ruffle on the bottom of the skirt. I haven't with this one because I didn't have enough fabric, and I've just got it on with a pair of leggings underneath. These are just the sew over at Hobbies leggings. And it goes really nicely with the colours in the dress. So yeah, this just stops above my knee. And I really love this dress. The other reason why I've dug this out is because I'm going to be talking about the lovely Faye, who has a business called Studio Jepsen. So I'll get onto that in a little bit, and this is where this fabric was bought from. It's such a beautiful fabric, and I really love the Lyra shirt dress. I really like the shirt aspect up here. I also really like the gathered skirt, the fact it's got pockets. I love that you can put a ruffle on it too. And I've made loads and loads of these types of dresses too. You can also pop on a cardigan. You can also layer it up with a long sleeve top underneath too. I'll try and put pictures in, and I'll also link any fabric and patterns that I'm talking about where possible down below, and I'll put pictures in as we go along. So I'll put a picture in of me wearing this just so you can see what it looks like. But it's one of my favourite dresses, and I'm going to be wearing this week. And then I've also got another Lyra shirt dress which has got space print all over it, so I'm definitely going to be wearing that this week too, and I'll put a picture in so you can see what that looks like. So on to what I've been sewing this week. So in my last Sunday sewing catch up, I talked about sewing up some more loungewear for my husband, and then I also talked about sewing up two new Craft House everyday dresses, and I'm really pleased to say that I got all of those things sewn up this week. So I already had all of those projects cut out, because what I tend to do during the week, I've had a few people message me on Instagram and also a few people comment on my videos about how I managed to fit everything in, because I do teach full time. I teach Monday to Friday, and then the weekends are usually quite busy with family, but I also love cooking and I love baking. So I've had a few people asking, how do I manage to fit in so much sewing time? Sewing is really important for my mental health. I really see the benefit of when I've been a bit crafty, or I've given myself like half a day or a couple of hours here, even half an hour here and there, just to do a little bit of sewing. That's not always actually set out the sewing machine, and what I tend to do during the week, because I'm too tired to actually sit down and sew, is I tend to do all my prep during the week. So I'll make sure that my machines are ready, I'll make sure that I've got all the thread and haberdashery items and all that kind of thing. I'll make sure that my patterns have actually been cut out, so they're all ready to go, and I tend to store them in little zip sort of, what they're called, Ziploc bags. I think I've shared them before. I'll put an image in of what I mean. So I'll cut out my patterns with the instructions, and I'll make sure that they're all in little bags ready to go. And that just means that when I do get a little bit of sewing time, I can actually concentrate on the sewing side of things. Sometimes I'll batch cut and then batch sew the same thing. So with the everyday dress, I cut out two of them at the same time, and then when I was sewing them, I sewed them both at the same time, and that saves a little bit of time too. I tend to sew on a Friday evening if I'm not going out for dinner or going out with my husband or family. And then I'll also always try and give myself at least half a day at the weekend if we haven't got any plans. Sometimes we've got plans, sometimes we're just busy, you know, seeing family or hosting or going out for the day, but I'll always try and give myself, you know, what equates to about half a day of sewing. I don't watch a huge amount of TV. I prefer to listen to books, and I prefer to watch YouTube and listen to, I was going to say vlogs. I do listen to vlogs and listen to podcasts. The little bit of TV that I do watch, I tend to save it up and then I'll just binge watch. So I've just finished watching the Young MasterChef, which was really enjoyable to watch. And I just watched a couple of episodes back to get back. I very rarely sit down and watch TV as it's being played on the TV. I'll always watch it on catch up. And I tend to put those things on when I'm cutting out projects, so I can watch and cut at the same time. So yeah, I tend to sew in the evenings, but not during the week, and I always try and give myself a little bit of time at the weekend, because I know that it's really important to enjoy my own hobbies, as well as spending time with my family. And also my girls are a little bit older now, so they're both teenagers, so it means that they don't need me as much as they did when they were toddlers. So I can have a couple of hours where I'm sat in my sewing space, enjoying my sewing. They'll pop in and ask me various questions like, can they have a drink, or where's this? Or they'll just come and talk to me about something that they've been watching or listening to, or they've read, or they just want to come and have a chat. They're quite happy to just chat alongside me sewing. And sometimes we'll have a film on and I'll be sewing in the same room as them whilst there's a film on. And they just turn it up and they'll put subtitles on, which is also really good when you're watching something to have the subtitles on. So that's a little bit about how I tend to kind of try and manage my sewing time and sort of squeeze it in here and there. But it is something that I really enjoy doing. And as a family, we've all got very different hobbies. So my husband loves video games. He also loves listening to books. Lola loves diamond painting, which is what you can see behind me. And she also loves bullet journaling. Ruby also loves video games, so she'll quite often play with her dad. And then she also loves reading and drawing. So we've all got very separate hobbies, but we can all be in the same space enjoying our hobbies. So it just means we all get a little bit of time doing what we love. So on to what I've been sewing this week. So I did get the loungewear set sewn up for my husband. He's worn it non-stop since I got it finished. So much so that I can't show you the t-shirt, actually physically hold it up because he's got it on. But I have got the trousers here. It's going to be really difficult to show you. It's got really dark all of a sudden. And this is a navy velour sweatshirting fabric. So it's going to be really difficult to show on camera. But I have got photos of him wearing them, so I'll make sure I put photos in. So I used the Hudson pants. I didn't, oh, I'm showing you the back there. I didn't put a drawstring on this one because he didn't want a drawstring. But yeah, it's just got the elasticated, see, it's so tricky to show you. The elasticated waistband, it's got the pockets, it's got the cuffs on the bottom, and it's just in this sort of almost like velvet. It's a velour fabric. It's a sweatshirting velour fabric that I got from Rainbow Fabric that they've sadly sold out of. So I just used the True Bias Hudson pants for the trousers, and then for the top I just used the Studio Jepsen Rider t-shirt, which I used for the last loungewear set that I sewed up in that leopard print. And he's really loved wearing the trousers and also the t-shirt. He had a little nap yesterday wearing both of them. So they are very, very comfortable and they keep him nice and snuggly and warm. I've just turned the lamp off because I think it wasn't really helping with the light. So the next thing I wanted to share with you was the two New Craft House everyday dresses. I've got the pattern here. So you can sew up the dress and you can also sew up the top, which has got like a peplum. I've sewn up the dress. I've sewn up the short sleeve dress for one of the fabrics. And then I've also sewn up a long sleeve dress with one of the... You get the option for long sleeves. So I've done one dress with short sleeves and I've done one dress with the long sleeves. And the pattern has got this like cuff detail. So on the dress that's got the short sleeves, I've done the cuff detail. On the dress that's got the long sleeves, I've finished it with elastic instead. So I'll start with the short sleeved dress, and it is one of my Make 9 plans, which I'm thrilled I've got this sewn up. I find it really motivating using fabric to plan my makes, and I've really enjoyed again this year using fabrics to plan my Make 9. And this was a fabric that came in a Fabric Godmother Dream Wardrobe box, and it came actually with the pattern, the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra shirt dress pattern, but I really couldn't envisage this fabric as the shirt dress. And I ummed and ahed about what to turn it into for ages, and then this pattern was released and I just could imagine this working so nicely for that dress pattern, and it has turned out so nicely. Now the dress pattern, I think it finishes with a button on the back. Yeah. So it doesn't show you, but it's got a keyhole opening on the back, and you're meant to finish it with a button. I prefer to extend my bias binding and use it to create a little tie at the back, and that's what I've done on both of them. And when I've sewn this dress pattern up before, that's what I've done on the other version that I've sewn up as well. So I just extended the bias binding, and then I've created, you get this lovely little opening here, keyhole opening, but then I've just got a little bow, and it is quite a long bias binding on the back. And then you use the bias binding to finish the neckline. It's got the short sleeves, and you can see that it's got the cuff detail there, and then it has got 2 tiers on the dress. So you've got the first skirt here, and then you've got the tier on the bottom, which is super duper gathered. So the first layer of the dress is the first skirt layer is 2 sort of skirt pattern pieces cut on the fold, and then the bottom you cut out 4 pattern pieces, so you can see it's a little bit more gathered. I'm really pleased with this. I think this is going to be a really lovely addition to my wardrobe, and I'm really excited about wearing it to work because I am tiger class, and I think the children will love seeing that dress. So I'll put pictures in of me wearing this dress, and I think I'll be able to layer it as well. I think I'll definitely be able to put like a long sleeve top underneath. I would have done long sleeves because of the colour of this fabric, and the weight of the fabric is a viscose linen, so I think it would lend itself quite nicely to the colder months. And I would have done longer sleeves, but I just didn't have enough of this gorgeous fabric. I love those sleeves. So yeah, I'm really excited about wearing that beautiful dress. And then the other one, I haven't actually got anywhere to wear this to yet, but I've had this fabric in my stash, or I haven't tied the back actually. I've had this fabric in my stash for ages because I bought it having seen a dress. I think I might have bought the dress for Lola in this gorgeous fabric, and I asked on Instagram, had anybody seen the fabric anywhere? Anyway, I got loads of links to eBay, so I think I bought about 6 meters of this fabric in the end from eBay, and when it arrived it just wasn't really what I was hoping it would be. So then it sat in my stash for ages and I wasn't really sure what to turn it into. And then over Christmas I sewed up an everyday dress using a tulle fabric that had glittery dots on, and I just wore that with a black dress and black tights underneath and absolutely loved it. So that sort of gave me a little burst of inspiration for this fabric. It's a beautiful fabric. It's sort of rainbowy and glittery. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's so drapey and it moves so beautifully. So I have used this fabric to make the everyday dress, and I've done the long sleeves. So I'll just show you the long sleeves. And then I've just finished the long sleeves with a little bit of elastic. I love this fabric. It's absolutely gorgeous. So it's really sparkly, and then it's got a really subtle rainbow effect all the way through it. I've done exactly the same with the neckline, so I've just extended the bias so that I've got a little tie at the back, and it gives that really gorgeous finish. I didn't finish any of the seams on this dress using this fabric because it's a very sheer fabric, and I didn't want to add to the bulkiness of those seams, so I've just made sure that I've pressed them as much as I can whilst being really careful of this fabric, so that they sit really flat. And I've done exactly the same with the skirt, so it's got that I mean, look how much that moves. It's so beautiful. So I haven't actually got anywhere to wear this yet, but I'm sure there will be an occasion where I can put on a sparkly dress, because it's not like over the top sparkly, although you can see it totally shimmering. I do think I would be able to wear this out to dinner with friends as just like a really fun dress. I absolutely love it, and I'm really pleased that this fabric has been turned into something. So I've felt really inspired going through my stash, and I've got some really lovely ideas for a lot of fabrics that I've got in my stash now. So that was another successful make this week. That fabric was an absolute nightmare to work with. It was super duper bouncy. So when I was doing the bias binding, the amount of clips that I had on there, because it was so bouncy, so I really had to go carefully with that fabric and really take my time, but I'm pleased that that's finished. There is one more outfit that I've been sewing up this week, and I don't want to share it with you yet because there's some fabric that I want to share with you first, and the fabric I've turned into a garment, well, 2 garments actually, this weekend. I wasn't sure if I was going to get them sewn up this weekend, but I just felt super excited and really motivated to turn this fabric into something that I did get them sewn up this weekend. So I'll talk about that in a second. The other thing I wanted to say is thank you for all your messages about me getting animal names wrong on garments that I've sewn up. So I've got 2 animals completely wrong in 2 makes that I've shared recently. So I think I shared the jumper. It's a white jumper. It's the Studio Jepsen Wow jumper. It's white and it's got a bird on it. And I think I said they were storks. They were actually pelicans. And when I bought the fabric, it actually says in the title that it's a pelican. So apologies for that, but thank you to everyone that corrected me. And then the other one, I haven't got that with me, so I can't show you, it's in the wash. The other jumper was this one, and I kept on calling them possums. And again, I know that they're not possums, I know that they're raccoons. And again, when I bought the fabric, it actually says raccoons on the title of the fabric. But thank you to everybody that has corrected me. I do know my animals. You know, I'm teaching the children the names of animals all the time. I don't know why I kept on saying possums, and I don't know why I kept on saying storks. I know that they're raccoons. I know that they are pelicans. So thank you for correcting me on that. So on to fabric that's arrived. I talked last weekend about some fabric that I was waiting for Lola, because Ruby had ordered this amazing fleece checkerboard fabric from Sew Me Sunshine, and then Lola chose a different type of fleece fabric. I'm just going to grab it. This is the fabric that Lola chose. You've probably seen it's all over Instagram. Loads of people have been sewing with it and making really cool things. And Lola decided that she wanted some of this gorgeous fabric. So it's a fleece fabric with flowers all over it. I got it from Stitch and Ink because lots of other places had it sold out. I've since seen, I think First for Fabrics had some. I know Sew Me Sunshine had some, but I think when I went to buy it, they'd actually sold out. But if I can find it anywhere, I'll link it down below for you because it is a really fun fabric. So this is what Lola chose, and she would like a hoodie. So I think the pattern that I'm going to use is the pattern that I've used with the fabric that I'm going to share with you in a minute, and it's a Tilly and the Buttons pattern. And then with this fabric, Ruby's actually requested, first of all, she wanted a hoodie, then she wanted a jumper, then she wanted a zip-up jacket. We've gone all around the houses with what she wants. Now she would like a blazer, so I think I'm going to use it to turn it into a blazer for her. Think I'm going to see if I can use this fabric to sew up the Friday Pattern Company heather blazer. I just need to work out because this has got a little bit of stretch to it. So I just want to check that it will actually work for that blazer pattern. But that's what I'm going to do with that fabric. So the fabric that's arrived that I've already turned into something, I'm going to share the fabric with you first. It's a really gorgeous fabric. I was chosen as the Hey So Sister, there's like a hashtag Hey So Siblings, I think it is. So when you use that hashtag, you are in with the chance of winning a £20 voucher to spend with Hey So Sister. They do it each month, they pick somebody randomly, and I was picked in November, so I got a £20 voucher. So with the £20 voucher, I bought some absolutely gorgeous French terry fabric. It's a little Johnny fabric. It's called, what was it called? I think it was called Finger Painting, and I just loved it as soon as I saw it because it's super bright. Here it is. You can see that I've literally just got this tiny little slither left, and this is something that I've chopped off, something that I've made. It's a really fun fabric. I'll put a better image in now of what it looks like, but it's got this gorgeous sort of loop back texture on the back of it, and then all of these like splodges that do look like watercolour, and it looks like somebody just splodged different colours on top of each other. And it really reminded me of the sort of painting that children do at school, especially with their fingers, which is why it's called finger painting. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that's what I wanted to spend some of my voucher on. I had to pay some towards it. I got 2.5 meters of this fabric, and I knew exactly what I wanted to turn it into. I wanted to wait for the fabric to arrive to see if it would feel really nice against my skin before I turned it into something. But I've turned it into probably quite an outrageous sort of joggers and hoodie set, and I absolutely love it. As soon as I finished sewing the joggers and the hoodie, I popped them on, and they are so comfortable and really, really fun. So I'll show you them first. I'll put a picture in of me wearing them, and then I'll talk you through the patterns that I used, but they are really fun. Ruby and Lola and my husband actually loved the two-piece when I showed them. It's really colourful and super duper bright, but really, really fun. So here are the joggers. And I used the Tilly and the Buttons Stella joggers pattern, which loads of people recommended when I was asking for a joggers pattern that was quite a relaxed fit. So thank you so much to everybody that recommended that. I already had the book and I hadn't sewn up this pattern. So actually they are a really lovely relaxed fit. So they've got the waistband with elastic. It's got drawstring. I went for a grey drawstring. And then they've got pockets. And they're sort of meant to sit sort of mid hip, I think they say. So sort of about here. And then they've also got cuffs on the bottom. And like I said, they've got pockets. And they're really, really comfortable. And I just love that fabric. I think it's such a fun fabric. I love all the colours. I love anything bright and colourful anyway. And I could just imagine joggers and a hoodie pattern in this fabric as soon as I saw it. And as soon as it arrived and I felt the fabric and I thought, yeah, that would feel really lovely against my skin. I was just so motivated, traced off the pattern, cut it out, and I got them sewn up in a morning. So I'm really thrilled with those. And then the hoodie that I went for was the Stella hoodie that comes in the book as well. I will share the pattern in a moment. I didn't have enough to line the hood with the same fabric, so I just had some grey ribbing that I used to line the hood. And then also, the pattern doesn't call for this, but I really wanted a hemband on the bottom of the hoodie, so I just added some grey ribbing on the bottom of it too. And then I've also added, like, you can't see it because it's so busy, the fabric, but I've added like a kangaroo pouch. And then it's also got a drawstring as well, which gives a really fun effect. So when I pull the drawstring, it sort of makes the hood go all wiggly and wavy, and you get to see a little bit of the grey. I absolutely love it. I think it's so fun. It's exactly the shape that I wanted. To add the hemband, I ended up taking about 4 inches off the length of the hoodie, because otherwise it would have been far too long. And what I tend to do with the hemband is I tuck it under, but it just helps create that baggy sort of loose effect, which is exactly what I wanted with the hoodie. So you've got the hood, which is fully lined with the drawstring, and it's just buttonholes that I've used to create the drawstring openings. Then you've got these lovely sleeves, and the sleeves have got cuffs on the end. And then there's the option to put on the pocket, which you're probably not going to be able to see, but it's like a kangaroo pouch. So I've top stitched around the pocket and then left the sides open. And then I decided to add a Happiness is Handmade Paige Joanna label on the pocket, which I really love. And I love that rainbow, which kind of matches all the colours. So I'm really, really thrilled with both of these, and they go so nicely together. I will put some pictures in of me wearing both of them so you can see. But I think this is my favourite make of the week. It just makes me smile and it brings me so much joy, and it's super duper comfortable. And at the end of the working day, this is exactly what I want to be throwing on. And it's also what I've been really enjoying wearing at the weekends as well. Just really relaxed fit joggers and a snuggly jumper or hoodie. So I'm really pleased with those. So the patterns come in the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book. You get lots and lots of different patterns in the stretch book. It's a book that I've used loads and loads before. So it is the Stella hoodie and joggers, and you can also sew up a sweater dress. So this is the pattern. It's the Stella hoodie and joggers set. You can see the lovely set here, which is pink. Tilly shared some gorgeous Stella joggers with this, I think it was like baby blue or lilac coloured sweatshirting, and it had hands all over it. She shared that recently, and it really made me want to try the Stella joggers pattern. So let me just show you the line drawings. So you can see on the hoodie that actually you just hem the bottom of it. It doesn't have a hemband, but I know that I really wanted a hemband. From all the jumpers that I wear, I've got hembands on them, and I just really like the way that that creates a bit of volume in the actual main part of the jumper. So yeah, I just chopped off a little bit of the length and then added the hemband. I just measured the sort of the distance from one side to the other, and then took off a couple of centimetres, and then cut out some ribbing for the front and also the back, and then I've just stitched that on, and I'm really pleased that I did do that. You can also see that on here it doesn't show the kangaroo pouch pocket, because that's more for the sweater dress. If I show you, so that's the sweater dress, and you can see that's where the pocket is. So what I did was I put on the hoodie once I put the hemband on, and then I placed the pocket, which I'd already cut out and sewn up. I placed it on there and just pinned it, and then moved it dependent on where I wanted to put my hands, so that I could make sure that I got the pocket placement correct on the hoodie. And I'm really pleased with where that is. and I think the pocket will come in really handy for that hoodie set as well. So I'm really pleased with that one. I think that's probably my favourite make of the week, like I said. So that's all of the things that I've been sewing this week. I think the joggers and the hoodie is probably my favourite sort of garment outfit that I've sewn up this week, just because it's so fun and I know that I'm going to get so much wear out of both of them. I'm really excited about wearing them in the evenings when I get home from work. I've also been buying fabric. I know I'm meant to be on a fabric ban. I'm rubbish with fabric bans. I don't think I've stuck to it. I think I had a week of sticking to it. But the lovely Faye, who runs Studio Jepsen, is sadly closing her fabric side of the business. I love her patterns as well. She's got some absolutely gorgeous patterns. The Rider t-shirt's one of her patterns, and the Wow jumper is one of her patterns. But she had a bereavement in the family, and she's having to close sort of the fabric side of her business, which I'm really sad about. I totally understand why, but I love buying fabrics from the lovely Faye. So at the moment, she's trying to sell off lots and lots of fabric. So she's creating these £50 bundle boxes, and they will equate to about £150 worth of fabric. They're surprise boxes, so you don't actually know what fabric comes in there, but it'll be a mixture of fabrics that she's still got in stock. She's got so many gorgeous fabrics on her website. So I have bought one of the bundles and I'm really excited about it arriving this week. I'll share with you next week what actually comes in the box, so you've got an idea. They're now on her website. If you want one of the boxes, you have to send her a DM over on Instagram, or I'm sure you can email her to let her know that you would like one of the boxes. But yeah, I'm really sad that I won't be able to buy fabric from Faye anymore, and that's one of the reasons why I've bought one of the bundle boxes, because at least I'll have lots of her fabric in my stash, so that I can dip into it and use some of the fabrics across the course of a year and be reminded of the wonderful service that I got from the lovely Faye. So if you're interested in those, I'll pop all the details down below so you can take a look. But I'm really excited about, I love the surprise element of not knowing what's in there. So I'm really excited about finding out what comes in the box. And then I wanted to give a little shout out to the lovely Emma, who is So Do It Emma, because she's back on YouTube. She had a little bit of a break over Christmas, and I love her vlogs. They're always really lovely and chatty and really relaxed. She's got a couple of vlogs that I need to catch up on. So I'm really looking forward to catching up on those over the next couple of weeks. And it was really nice to see her back on YouTube as well. I'm sure you follow her already, but if you don't, I'll pop a link to her channel down below so you can go and give her a little follow. She seems like a really lovely person. I haven't actually met her in person, but I've chatted to her on Instagram, like I'm sure lots of us have with various different people. And this year, like I mentioned last weekend, I am still in the process of setting up some like social sewing sessions near where I live, and I'm really determined to sort of immerse myself in that side of sewing, because I really love chatting to other people that really understand sewing and are passionate about sewing. So I want to really encourage myself. I am a natural introvert and I do get really shy in social situations when I don't know anyone. But I'm really pushing myself to be a bit more social with my sewing. So I will keep you updated with the social sewing side of things that are local to me. I thought I had a venue secured, but actually they can't do it anymore. So I've got a couple of other places that I'm in touch with. So hopefully I'll have a venue secured in the next couple of weeks, and then I can share more information. But yes, go and give the lovely Emma a follow if you don't already over on YouTube. Her videos are lovely to watch. And then I've got a pattern that I've seen on the Fold line. I love looking at their new pattern releases. I mean, I don't need to because I've got so many patterns, but there's an absolutely gorgeous coat pattern, and it's by a company that I haven't heard of before. They're called Pattern Society, and the coat is absolutely beautiful. I haven't bought it yet because I'm trying to work out if I need to buy it or whether I can use elements of the coat to hack a coat pattern that I've got. I'm probably, to be honest, going to buy the coat pattern because it's absolutely beautiful. It's called the Epic Ruffle Coat, and if you followed me for a while, you'll understand why I absolutely love the look of this coat. It's got these absolutely beautiful ruffles sort of on the shoulder, and they go into the back. It's absolutely beautiful. So it's got 6 inseam bodice ruffles on it, and you'll see on the pictures that I put in, the ruffles start sort of here and they go around the back. Absolutely beautiful. There's waist starts in the front and the back of the coat pattern. It's fully lined. There's an option for welt pockets, or you can just do inseam pockets. and it just looks like such a beautiful coat pattern, and it looks like such an unusual coat pattern as well. I haven't seen very many patterns, well in fact I haven't seen any coat patterns that have got these ruffles that sort of start at the front and go round to the back. Absolutely beautiful, right up my street. I love a ruffle, and it looks like quite a dramatic coat pattern too. In terms of sizes, it comes in extra small and goes up to extra large. And in terms of how much fabric you need 5 yards of fabric, and fabric recommendations are wool, Melton wool, tweed, or any wool blend. And it just looks like an absolutely gorgeous coat pattern. I think I've talked myself into buying the pattern because it's just absolutely beautiful. So I just thought I'd let you know, just in case you haven't seen it, because it's absolutely gorgeous. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was Stash Hub, which is an app that I've talked about over the last couple of weeks on my Sunday Sewing catch-ups. It's an app that I downloaded at the start of the year to be a bit more organised and get on top of my fabric stash and also my pattern stash, and also use it to plan projects. It's a app that you can get on your phone. I think you can get it on your iPad as well, and it's called Stash Hub. And the idea behind it is that you create a catalogue of all your fabrics. You can put patterns on there. You can also put body measurements on there, which I think is really handy. So I've got my husband's body measurements on there, I've got mine, I've got my daughter's, I've also got my mum, because my mum lives like 200 miles away from me, so it's quite handy storing her body measurements. And you can also plan projects on there. And then they've just done an update where you can get statistics. So it talks about, if you want to know, and if you log the price of your fabrics, it will tell you how much money you've spent on fabrics. It tells you what type of patterns you've got, how many patterns, how many pieces of fabric. And I found it a really great way of keeping on top of all of my patterns. I'm yet to put all of them on there because I've got so many, but also all of my fabrics. So when I'm planning a project, I can just scroll through the app and remind myself of what I've got in my stash without having to get all of the fabrics out and create a huge mess. So I've really enjoyed using it. There are 2 different types of subscriptions. So you can either go for the free version of the app, which means that you can only upload, I've got it written down, 20 fabrics or patterns and just 1 picture per sort of record that's on there. You can also sort the records that are on there. I knew straight away, because I've got way more than 20 pieces of fabric, that I needed the version of the app that you pay for. So it's £3.49 a month. And with that, you can upload as many fabrics and as many patterns as you want to. You can plan all of your projects on there if you want to. And what I really like about it is you've already got the patterns, you've already got the fabrics on there. So you just link them to your project. And then if you want to, you can also link them to the measurements of the person that you've stored their information on the app for. I have absolutely loved using it. There's some information down below because I've been given a code and I've also been given a link, so you can get 1 free month of using Stash Hub, and the link is below. I'm looking down because there's a link if you're an iOS user, but there is a code if you're an Android user. If you're an Android user, the code is New Year Project 23. And if you're an iOS user, you just click on the link. But I'll put all the information down below if you want to get 1 free month of using Stash Hub. I am absolutely loving using it, and actually that's something that I can do in the evenings when I don't want to sew or don't have the energy to sew. I've still got loads of fabrics that I need to upload on there. I've got over 100 pieces of fabric that I've uploaded on there already, and I've still got more to add, and I haven't even really touched on my patterns. So it's going to be a long process getting them all on there, but actually there's huge benefits in just having everything in one place. So I thought I'd let you know about that. And that's something that I will continue to use. And I planned my first project of the year on there. I think I planned the new Craft House dress as well, so I can tick that off as a project. If I haven't, I'm going to add it as a project and then tick it off, just because I love ticking things off lists that I've made. So then I like to finish the videos with a couple of my sewing plans for the week. So I'm going to get cut out the hoodie for Lola, because I'm going to use this floral fleece fabric to sew up the Tilly and the Buttons Stella hoodie for her, and I think this is going to make a gorgeous hoodie. And if I've got any left, then I might be able to turn it into like some pyjama bottoms, because I think this would make a really lovely snuggly pair of pyjama bottoms as well. So I'm going to get that cut out. I've ordered some black ribbing from First for Fabrics. It's the only place that I could find black ribbing, so I've ordered that because I think I would need to do the cuffs with black ribbing for the hoodie using that fabric. I'm going to get this cut out and I won't get it started, I don't think, but I'm going to get it cut out, and I've got some black lining. I think I am probably going to use the heather blazer. I think it will be okay. So I'm going to get that cut out for Ruby. And then I'm also in the process of cutting out my backpack using that, I've got it here, gorgeous canvas fabric from Felicity Fabrics. And don't forget, if you do buy from Felicity Fabrics, you can get 10% off your order using the code Liz10. So do make sure you use that if you order from Felicity Fabrics. They've got some gorgeous fabrics coming on their website in the next couple of months. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that sewn up. So I'll get that cut out. Lots of prep, I think, is going to be happening this week. And then I'm also going to be prepping the Wren bra, because I've had that printed. I've got that printed rather, I just need to cut it out. And then also the New Craft House hipster briefs. I've got that pattern printed as well, so I just need to cut that out. So I'm going to cut out all of those projects because I haven't got those cut out yet. And I'll see what I get sewn up next weekend when I've got a couple of evenings to do some sewing. So I'll see what I've got to share with you next weekend. I really hope that I get the hoodie sewn up for Lola because she's desperate for that, and make a start maybe on the blazer for Ruby. Who knows? We'll see what the week sort of comes up with. I'm very excited about all of those plans though. So that was everything I wanted to share with you today. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I really would love it if you hit that subscribe button. All the likes and subscribes help to get my videos out to more new people. So I really appreciate all the shares and likes and comments. Thank you as always for watching. Take care, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.